Uh, I have an issue with tightness, like here and here, like very tight. I guess because of being in bed a lot. When I'm in bed, I'm standing now. This is a ceiling here. In bed, I would like, I'm more like, my shoulders are a bit higher. Lean back because they just go that way because of gravity, I guess. I don't know. When I lay down, they go up a bit. But also, like, you know, having all the neck problems and then having atrophy and then having the intense stress. Constantly, a lot of stress up here, a lot of tightness up in here. And Dr. Hutchison had a video today. It was like, you know, you can have tightness here that pulls the back of your head or pulls it this way. You could have like one side pull the C1 this way, or at this side pull it that way, or both sides pull it down and back, and your C2 and C3, all that, because there's muscles attached to all the vertebrae. So your traps connect all your cervical spine, and then that involves your shoulder, even down your elbow. So I was like, yeah, because like when I push my shoulder down, like purposefully, like push it downward and hold it there, because I'll be stretching that out. I'll be like, huh, it's easier to like stand away from the wall when I do that with both arms. Obviously, I'm holding the phone now. But I notice when I get up, it's like pulling the back of my head like back, like, and down, and I'm having to like pull it forward to like keep my head straight. That's how tight I am. And that might be part of why I'm having a hard time just keeping my head up, because I'm like fighting against the muscle trying to stand up, and it just strains my ligaments and it strains the tendons and muscles. So I started stretching these out by doing like head stretches. Like, I mean, well, obviously, like I could hold this, like support my head with this side, I can't do it now, but I put this arm down and then stretch, and that stretches like all of that. And then I did the same time for all that, and I've been doing that off and on throughout the day. And like I could look up now, whereas like before I could look to about, I get to about here, and like, so it's like I can look up a lot more, but I physically couldn't look up that much without like hurting myself. And that's just doing some stretch. So it's like these were pulling my head so much. It's just unbelievable how much like the muscles are like pulling on my neck all over the place. And it's probably not just there, it's probably the SCMs. Actually, I don't know if my SCMs are that tight. Not too bad. But I think if you want, you should watch the video, Dr. Hutchison's video on like posture. It was released today, the 12th, August 12th, 2023. And yeah, because he's talking about how it's not just posture, it's like if the muscles that are attached to the vertebrae go down toward your chest, toward your shoulders, and toward your back, and they pull on your neck, and they pull on those vertebrae. So you could have like wonderful ligaments, and your C2 or C1 could just keep getting turned and pulled, and because of like your elbow or your shoulder or like tight traps in here, it can yank on the vertebrae. So when you're moving around and doing stuff, like you're pulling on your neck and putting unnecessary strain on. So I'm not sure exactly how to fix it. I just figure, well, I've been strengthening my traps, like doing shrugs with like weight, but also stretching them. So I think you should strengthen muscles. You shouldn't just stretch them, because if you strengthen them, that allows them to be looser. Like strong muscles are generally, I've found them to be looser in me, because when you're doing stuff, you don't have to use as much strength, so the muscles relax more. But also, when you strengthen the muscles, if you just work out, you get tighter. If you just stretch, you get looser. But if you work out and stretch, you get looser than you would otherwise. You get looser than just stretching, in my experience. So I think I got to do that too. But it's hard. I'm trying to be very careful because obviously it's like stretching my neck is, you know, I have to, when I'm stretching my head, when I'm, you know, if I get to a point where I stretch and I hold it, I have to be careful because like a little more and I might feel like a sharp pain up here, a sharp pain down here. And it's like, I want to avoid any kind of sharp pains because my ligaments, my neck is really messed up. But I think I got to stretch that out because like I was stretching that out for a while today. And then I was walking around just with my soft collar outside and I was just focusing on keeping my arms, my shoulders low. And I was like, man, it's so much easier to hold my head up. Like so much easier. And it kind of makes sense because my head should be balancing on my spine. It shouldn't be like, I shouldn't be constantly like fighting to like hold my head up in a neutral position. Like if I'm leaning forward, or that makes sense. But if I'm just standing, it shouldn't be that hard. And for me, it's really hard. So I think that could be part of my problem. I don't think that's part of my original problem because I was very strong and like my traps weren't tight like this like years ago. And I think, you know, a long time of sitting at a computer and possibly Lyme disease because I didn't start having problems until I was in a moldy basement and then also getting bitten by all kinds of bugs. And I was quite strong and I never stopped exercising. So the only difference was that. So I'm assuming it has to do with that. So I'm still trying to work that out. I had a friend, Misha, this guy from Ukraine, he messaged me and was saying like, he has the same problems, similar problems I do, not as bad, but like instability in his joints, like his joints crack, like my joints crack, like when I walk, my ankles crack, my wrists, like it just cracks. So, and it's like, and they're unstable. Like even when I was doing like leg extensions with my knees, it was like crack, 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 like every time I extended my leg, because like it's just kind of like stuff's not holding, the connective tissue's not doing its job. He has the same problem all over his body, and he's got Lyme disease, and it's like I might have that. So, but it's like trying to get tested for it. Doctors nowadays are so stingy about actually testing for anything. They don't want to test for anything. They're like, how could I get away with letting you die and not testing you? And I'm gonna do that. And I don't know why they do that, because it's like, who gives a shit if the insurance rejects it? Like, what do you get, like a black mark? And now you're not allowed to be a doctor anymore? Like, if I was a doctor, I'd just be like, this person's having all these problems. I need to run some tests. If they don't show any results, we're going to run some additional tests. I'm going to run every test they could possibly, even if it's a low chance. And insurance wants to fight me on it, I can be like, look, here's the research showing this. You know, like, I think if you're a doctor and you need to fight back on the insurance issues, you can't just let your patients die because you don't feel like doing paperwork. Like, that just makes you a piece of shit. So anyway, that's what's going on with me. I think if you should watch that video for Dr. Hutchison, although he doesn't really say a lot more than what I said. He doesn't say exactly how to fix the muscle imbalance. Because, I mean, even, like, you really, if he's going to tell you, like, if he was going to tell me, I wouldn't want him to even tell me on the phone, like, hey, you should do this. I would want him to see me in person, look at my posture, look at how my head's being pulled this way, that way, whatever way, and tell me, like, these specific muscles are having a problem. You know, your elbow's having a problem, your shoulders, you know, whatever, and you need to do these specific exercises. So I'm trying to go see him, but I don't have it. It's like $1,000. But for like a complete workup, like the digital motion x-ray, the neck weight measurements, because I like a new set of neck weights, the physical therapy stuff, the, you know, dry needling, all that stuff. So it's expensive, but I mean, if it can help me walk again, it's worth it. Like without a hard collar.